It was around Easter, and we were going to watch a film, and it was The Passion of Christ. I'd never seen it before, and I know it was a Hollywood thing, but they really put across what Jesus actually went through for all of us, and I was humbled in a way, because he could have walked away from it, but he chose not to. If it had been me, I might have phoned a taxi and scarpered, A lot of us would have probably, But I don't know, it's when I was watching them getting scourged on the back, and I don't know what it was, and it just made me think I actually had to pick myself up, and I went and I sat in a prayer room on my own and gathered my thoughts. I felt overwhelmed with it, thinking about what all he went through. And to think that he could do that for us. And I just felt, Noel, you're doing the right thing. You just have to give it up to Jesus. And that's how I feel now, that I'll be able to make that step. And you just know there's no other way. We need Jesus in our lives now more than ever. But it just had it went very deep into me when I saw it. And I know it was a film, but it made you think about all the things and what he went through. To say the opportunity to walk away from it, and he didn't. And I have to say, in the Grove, they're so good at, for me, they're so good at getting the message across. When they have the wee Bible studies, and they have it's like a men's meeting, and it's actually good. Men can share, but don't have to be these big, tough, tattooed skinheads, Yeah, and it is actually wonderful, and they're getting the right word out. I love being where I am. I'm so glad that I found the Grove. I'm so glad of Natalie's help, encouragement, support. And I'm so glad that I was able to do my testimony with you. That was a big turning point for me, for me. And every journey just starts with one step. And I've made a few, but I think at Easter it was just like a realization that, this is what it's about. You want God in your life. I certainly feel a contentment in my life, peace.
How much value and would you put on that decision in your life, in terms of how precious is your faith to you? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. It will be the main thing that I think about. Everything revolves around it. I try to live a better life. You don't always have to be asking for something. You can say, thank you for such a lovely day. Thank you for a peace of mind. Thank you for the lovely wife I have. Things like that. And I find myself talking to them a lot more regular. That was, to me, that was, what do you mean, God? You don't want to listen to that. But I feel now that it will be the main part of what's inside me now, and what I think about, and within my heart, and I feel stronger, feel happier. I feel as if he's a part of me now, not reaching out to him. I find he's well, that's what I don't know how to explain it, but I am so glad that I have reached the stage where I accept and I give myself to Jesus, and I want him in my life. This is what I've needed all these years, and how it has turned my life around. And even with my wife, the difference that she has noticed, and she encourages me greatly to go to it. I am just so glad that I realized before I'm too late that Jesus is the only way. He is the only way for us, especially now the way the world is. But, you know, I just feel uplifted. Every single day now is a good day. I wake up, I say, thank you, God. You know, you have to make yourself open and ask Jesus into your life. So I did, and I found he listened. And I feel so honoured to be part of that.